Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy. If you're new here, welcome. I do a lot of bookish and reading journal content. Today we're going to be doing a flip through of my August reading journal setup. I decided to create my pages off camera. I just wasn't in the mood to film at the time, and it did take me quite a long time. I took lots of breaks because my hands were getting tired. So I figured I'd just kind of show you my design and hope that you get a little bit of inspiration as you're considering setting up your August bullet journal or reading journal spreads. All right, so let's get into it. This is also my new camera, so I'm getting the hang of all of the things. All right, here we go. For August, I went for a very groovy retro style setup. I found on Canva, I don't know what this actual font is, but I basically looked up groovy fonts, and this is one of them that I liked. I have a bit of a hand lettering hack where if you print out the font, you can then do sort of a tracing trick where you color the back. Oh, you know what? Let me show you. So what you can do is you can print out, whatever lettering you like, and you cut as close to the letters as you can. That way it's a little bit easier to gauge the placement on your paper. Then on the back side, you would color with a pencil. You'd fill the whole thing, just like so. And then you would put this down on your page and trace along the outside of each letter. This leaves a very, very light outline of your font, and you can then go ahead and in your journal write over it with a pen. Let me know if you ever want to see me do that hand lettering hack in real time. I'm happy to create a short or a little video tutorial about it. I use it a lot, so if you're like me and you're not great at your own hand lettering, this is a great strategy to use. I did find some inspiration on Pinterest. I'll be sure to link the content creator whose aesthetic and whose doodles kind of inspired this design. I didn't quite recreate it, but I definitely used a lot of similar doodles and design elements, so I'll make sure to put that information down below so you can check their stuff out. So on this side of my setup, I've got my calendar, I guess you could say. One of my reading goals for this year has been to read every day, but really I've just been curious to track how many days am I even reading, because I genuinely don't know. So what I'm gonna do with this month at a glance calendar is the days that I read, I think I'm gonna do a little yellow or orange drop shadow, and the days that I don't read, I'll just kind of leave them as they are. The number fonts, I just tried to make it a little bit bold. I did not feel like hand tracing all the numbers, so I did the best that I can. I'm not mad that it is not uniform. I kind of like that it's a little more rustic and not perfect. That's one of the reasons I like doing my own journals, is because they're not perfect. So that's kind of my plan here, so I can track how many days that I read in August. I've also seen calendars where people kind of across the way will indicate how many days they're reading a particular book. My problem is that I just read way too many books at the same time. I think that calendar would look very visually overwhelming, but I have been thinking about trying it, so TBD. Anyways, on the left side of my setup here, if you guys are not new, you'll know every month I play a TBR game. It's called Reading Roulette, where randomizer wheels create reading prompts for me every month. So in this little box, I will indicate the 5 reading prompts and eventually the books that I pick up. In this box, I will either a check mark or I'll color it in to say whether or not I read the book or am in the middle of the book, or if I didn't get to the book, I'll probably put an X, maybe a dash. I'm not 100% sure. In past months, let me flip to an older month so you can see, like from whatever this was, I think this might have been May. Yeah, with my butterflies, I could indicate whether I was migrating a book, if I read a book, if I didn't get to it at all. So I might use that same system for August. But in other months, I've completely filled it in, or again, use the migrating symbol if I didn't quite get to it. So we'll see. what I do for these lists, but this is where all my reading roulette prompts are gonna go. I also have a little bit of space for if there are other books that I would really like to pick up in August. There are a few new releases that I'm hoping to get to. There's a few series that I'm in the middle of and I might want to read sequels of. So I'll just put those in here. Whether I get to them or not, you know, we'll have to see. But I always like to kind of give myself a general guideline or just some options as to what I can pick up next. But I am a pretty big mood reader, so sometimes I completely forget about this list. But I also might include some of the book clubs that I'm in, the buzzword reading challenge, buzzwordathon prompt, I'll probably put on this list as well. There's been some months where I've created some kind of reading related goals. I have not done it every month, but I was thinking I could create a few goals either directly related to my annual reading goals or something completely separate. There's been some months where I've created goals around, you know, spending less than $10 on books or reading at least an hour a day, things like that. But I haven't quite figured those out yet. So yeah, I'm not sure what they'll be. So anyways, this is kind of my cover page setup. I'm quite pleased with how this looks. It's a little cheesy and it's very rustic, but I'm kind of into that. This next page is going to be dedicated to Deck of TBR-thon. This is a readathon hosted by Becca from Becca Books and Bujo and Chloe from Always Booked, I believe is the co-host. There's a beautiful visual that I wanted to print out. Essentially, you're picking a card from a card deck that will correspond to a prompt, and it is competitive, so of course there are points associated. I'm going to be on the black team, which is the more mood reader team, because I'm a bit nervous and I don't want to set myself up with too many books to read. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think this space is where I'm going to put, I don't know, maybe just the prompts that I pick, maybe just the cards, maybe, I don't know. I wanted to have some kind of list related to what cards that I pick, but I'm not 100% sure what's going to go there. And then my plan is I'm going to do a little spread on this side with the book covers and like any quotes or reviews or information of note that I want to remember. So this whole spread is going to be dedicated to that readathon. And you know what? That is all I've created. After those first two pages, these are just going to be dedicated to my book reviews, and I tend to leave those very, very, very simple because there's a lot of text on those pages. So for example, like what I've done in previous months is I will print out my reviews. From the past, the top paragraph is always my stream of conscious thoughts. And as I'm reading, you know, my predictions, my initial reactions, things like that. And then the bottom paragraph is usually my formal review. Sometimes it's on Goodreads, sometimes it's not, but that's usually my collected thoughts. And so I tend to leave these pages really blank because I want to make sure that there's plenty of space for all of the text. What I'll usually do is I'll backtrack and I'll add little doodles. So like you can see, so like from past months, I'll like add little doodles if there's dead space. Let's see if I can find any other examples. I feel like there was, yeah, like, you know, like little doodles related to the theme. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, but I'm feeling pretty happy. I'm looking forward to filling out this very groovy spread. I think it's a fun set of colors, and the little flower doodles at the front I also really enjoy. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found some inspiration. I love creating my monthly reading journal setups. They're just so fun. It brings me such joy. So I hope it does bring you joy as well. If you want to support my channel, that'd be great. Consider liking and subscribing and doing the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. I typically post every Tuesday, but I also, if I'm feeling inspired and can get my shit together, I will post on Fridays as well. So, alrighty, that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.